Hey there everybody, Scudder here today. Hope you guys are doing great. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a jacket and a cap, it is because it is cold here. This is some crazy, crazy June weather. I never thought I'd be wearing a coat and a hat in June, but it's cold here. Um, anyway, this video today is going to be about God speaking to us. And I actually got the inspiration for this video from a video that Photo Helix had made. And if you guys have never watched Photo Helix, run over to his channel. I'll put the link down below. He actually kind of inspired this. He's a pretty cool cat. I call him the Harvard Hillbilly. And, well, you just kind of have to be a little bit redneckish to get that. Anyway, good guy. So, what I want to talk about today is God speaking to us and whether or not He actually still does. In Photo's video, he was talking about butterflies, and actually it was kind of funny because butterflies have a bit of a special place in my heart because it's one of those ways that God communicates with me. And I know y'all are going to think that I'm crazy, and that's okay. I don't care if you think that. But it just is. I don't know if I know how to explain it, but every time I see a butterfly, then I know that God has come to visit. Now, also, with that, there is a kind of a thing that I have with deer. And that's why when you guys have seen some of my recent videos where the deer was walking with me on the hiking path, that's why I was so excited about that, because just a little bit of a story. Back quite a few years ago, actually, when I was hiking one day. This was down in Mississippi, and I went hiking, and I had gone to a place that I had never hiked before, and I was by myself, and I was out on the trail and had gotten pretty deep into the woods, and it was getting dark, and I got lost, and I was panicking because I didn't have any type of tools or anything with me. I didn't even have a flashlight. It was just kind of a spur of the moment, hey, there's a nature trail, let's go check it out kind of walk. And I ended up getting lost, and as the sun was going down, I was kind of freaking out because I didn't know how to get out. And so anyway, I was walking along the trail through the woods trying to find my way back to the path that led to my vehicle, and I came into a clearing, and as soon as I hit that clearing, there was a herd of probably 30 to 40 deer, and they just stood there. They didn't get spooked, they didn't run off, they just stood there. And at that moment, I knew I was on the right path back to my vehicle. I don't know how I knew it. It was just God's way of letting me know that I was going the right direction and to keep going that way. And sure enough, I did, and made it back to the truck safely. So ever since then, every time I've seen a deer, I knew that that was one of the ways that God was just sending me a reminder that He was here with me. And it's kind of interesting because there have been plenty of times when I have been either having a really bad day or been going through a difficult situation and just needed to know that God's presence was with me. And at those times, a deer has appeared. So that's just kind of my way and God's way of communicating, I guess. Now, a lot of people question whether or not God still speaks to us. And I think that it depends on what your definition of speak is. there are people that I know, there are people in my life, there are one or two for sure here on YouTube, that all the time raise the question about whether or not God speaks to us, and they're not going to believe in God until He audibly speaks to them directly and answers their questions. And I'm always a little perplexed by that mentality, because I think that there are a lot of us who know that God speaks in different ways. Now, I firmly believe that God does still communicate with us. And I think that there are different ways in which He does that. I fully think that He can audibly speak to someone where they can physically hear His voice. I have never had that happen personally in that manner, but I believe that it can happen. I think that God also communicates through angels, and He uses His messengers to visit individuals, to deliver a message to them. There are also ways that God speaks that are silent, if you can believe that. Just the other day, last night actually, as a matter of fact, God gave me a message, and sorry, it's not for you guys, it was just for me. But it was something that I had been asking Him about, and I just kind of instantly heard Him in my heart give me the answer that I needed. So, I think that the problem that people have is when they start to question whether or not God speaks is their heart open to actually hearing Him? Because most of the time, I think that God usually speaks in a gentle voice, sometimes even a whisper. And you have to be ready and be, I hate to say state of mind, but you have to have your heart in a place where you are open to hearing what God is telling you. And that means that sometimes you have to think outside of the box, because God may not verbally speak to you like I'm speaking to you now, but He may show you signs. He may bring someone else into your life to deliver that message. He may speak to your heart, but you have to be able to hear, really hear, right here, what He's saying to you. So, for those of you who don't believe that God speaks to individuals, then I encourage you to seek Him in prayer and explain to Him that you're having trouble believing in this, and ask Him in His way, in a way that you can understand, if He will speak to you and give you the message that you need to hear. And remember, 9 times out of 10, it isn't going to be an audible message. It's going to be something that God shows you, but you have to be open enough to understand that He is communicating with you. So you guys share your comments on this. Tell me what you think, and if you've ever had experiences where God has spoken to you in different ways. And you leave your comments down below. We'll talk to you guys later. Take care. God bless for now. Bye-bye.